What's going on, everybody? It is Arkham here, and we are back at Six Flags. Great adventure for the first time in like what feels like 3 weeks. It's been a long time since I've been here. There's been a lot of changes inside the park, and we're gonna go and check all those things out, as well as checking on a couple of very new discoveries, like 2 ride reopenings, as well as the crowd levels. Yes, the crowds have picked up a lot since my last visit, and as it gets closer to Halloween, yeah, that's exactly what we're working at here. There's a lot of stuff right up at the front before we even get into the park, so we're going to check all that out right now. Right away, they are pushing for this chaperone policy checkpoint that after 6 o'clock, they are going to be checking your IDs. And this goes for everybody, so they are really on top of the policy. And it looks like security's a bit backed up today, which makes sense because every bag's got to get checked. And again, just as a friendly reminder, once you enter after 6 p.m., you cannot leave the park, and you have to leave for good. There is no re-entry after 6 p.m. All right, we're in the park, and there's Porky and his vampire. I think he's a vampire. Yes, he is. It is out to the tire. So let's go in and check out all that's new in this lovely park. One thing to also point out is that every gate now has a welcome sign that also labels if the gate is closed or not, which is actually super helpful instead of having to wait outside of a gate that won't be open. So that is a very nice quality of life change right there that's going across all the gates, including the VIP gate as well. Over here at the Carousel, they put a sign out front that says starting at 6 p.m. this carousel will spin backwards. A very friendly warning because some people don't like to go backwards, but it's a warning there so that you know. And then the teacups also were renamed for Fright Fest, known as the Teacups of Terror. Temporary sign, you can sort of tell it's a little temporary right now, but I think that's sort of the point at the current moment. Obviously this was added during the hiatus that I wasn't at the park. So perhaps next year I could definitely see them having a more temporary sign to put there for now, but I really like that they overlaid the teacups as a way because they are not bringing back holiday in the park this season, so gingerbread twist is no longer a thing. So I think it was a good way to pay back to the teacups and give it an overlay for Fright Fest. That's a smart decision. They put some temporary switchbacks here for the May sales and online redemption. That's right next to Army of the Dead, a very nice change. Now coming through Plaza de la Muerte, probably my favorite scare zone area from this year's Fright Fest thus far. It is super cool, and they're using a lot of stuff from Lady in the Lake and just incorporated it here. They did a great job with this area. And the creativity with the whole thing here is just second to none. They did a great job. Looks like a walk-on Toro. I'm gonna take advantage of that. Well, here's something wild. They repainted the Rolling Thunder track under El Toro, which is very interesting that they did that. We got 2 rides on the good old El Toro. You never go wrong with that ride at all. One in row 17, one in row 18. This thing's really good. Even in cold weather, it's still good. It gets faster every single time. It is a wonderful Woody, and I'm so happy to get back on this thing. It's been, again, I'm gonna keep harping on the fact that I haven't been here in 3 weeks, and I hate that fact so much, but it's always great to get back on El Toro when I'm back in the park, for sure. And Medusa has quite a lot of updates since the last time I was here, including the C train being super quiet and having the A train still on. So hopefully we get the C train because that would be really cool to hear how it sounds now with the fact that one of the trains is extremely quiet. So that'll be a very cool thing to check out as well, because every single time I've been here, Medusa has always been roaring, which is very loud. But let's go on. All right, we did 2 rides on Medusa. That was really interesting. We did get on the C train, which is AKA the quiet train now. And the best comparison I could make to it at the current moment is that it feels like Talon in a way on Hydra's trains, which is odd because, of course, I'm comparing it to Dorney Park when I was just there last week. But still, that's kind of what I'm getting from it. It is so quiet. That C train is so quiet. Like, you don't even hear it from El Toro, which is weird because everyone's usually is drawn to the iconic roar that Medusa makes. And they seem to be, I don't want to say they're removing it, but it seems like they're trying to fade out of it. Maybe it's the safari and the fact that the baboons are literally right next door to it. That could be a factor in it. But I'm very invested on that idea. And it seems like that's something that they're trying out this year and they're probably going to move closer towards. And a lot of the B&Ms, especially I go back to Dorney, that like pretty much all the B&Ms from Dorney, I think except for Menace, doesn't even have that roar at all. So that's a very interesting thing. But the ride itself, it still is a great ride. It really crawls you now on that mid-course, and I think it's just because of the ride just showing its age and the weather as well. So those are all probably factors into why the ride felt like it was running slow. But it's still running really good, and it's a ride that you don't want to miss when you're at Great Adventure because most people often forget about it. But obviously with the crowds, it's probably going to be pretty crowded for another Fright Fest day. I would imagine that it's going to get its lines. I am seeing a bit of a noticeable change up in the mine train station with that fencing right there. We are going to head on mine train right now, but I am going to investigate a little bit more onto this because that iconic shot of where you can see the train rolling in at a very fast pace from the exit ramp might be gone now. So we'll go in and check this out. And I doubt that's probably a reason that the ride was closed so often, but it's possible that this could play a factor in it. And yeah, look at that. That's new fencing up at the top that covers the exit ramp. So no more high fives from there anymore. All right, just did we just did 2 rides, just 2 rides on the Runaway Mine Train, and it's running so good. We got one in the front in row 3, and the other we are in, I believe it was row 10. I'm not very good at my row numbers on Mine Train, but it was the 4th car front row. It's really a great ride. Definitely classic for the park, and of course it's an Aero, so they are very reliable, so it makes them very easy to maintain and just keep around for an extended period of time. And the Runaway Mine Train is just an iconic ride in and of itself, whether it's rough or smooth to your eyes, and it's one that you got to get on all the time. It's the best family coaster in the park, in my opinion, and probably and definitely I'd say up there in the top 10 rankings because it's very undervalued because most people classify it as a family coaster as I do, but it's got some thrilling elements to it. You don't want to sleep on it for sure. Houdini's line is like pretty full right now. Like that is insane. It's only like 2 o'clock. So that is a wild sight to see. Houdini's getting very popular. It's awesome to see. What we do also know is that we have known about Oktoberfest being a last minute thing that they brought back, but they also brought back the Guten Tag players as well, which they're actually playing right now. If I'm not mistaken, these are actually new signs here for the restrooms. I've never seen that sign there, and it makes it a lot easier to find too, which is a great ad. Unfortunately, not much of a swashbuckler update at the moment that I've seen as of late. I mean, then again, I believe this is actually the first time I've seen that part of the chassis. I don't think I was there before, but could be wrong. Small update from the Caribbean Grill. They put a parrot outside of it, so that's really nice. Goes with the theme of the lakefront a little bit. I like it. All right, now we're back at the Junior Thrillseekers. We have some big changes coming from here. We got to check them out, and there's a lot to talk about here. So first off, you can see it right now. Barnstormer is back, and it is open once again, which is so great to see. This is probably one of the biggest eye candy rides for the kiddie area, and it is so cool to see this one back up and running again this season. I thought it was going to be done for the season, but it's so happy to see it back. But the one I don't think anybody was expecting, Air Safari's back too. They're training ops right now, and this is the plane ride that has been closed for almost 2 seasons now. and it is indeed back, and it looks like they're gonna send the cycle any second. Also, on top of that, they've consistently kept Thrillseekers open the entire time, kind of being like that clearance store for the park, which I think is a great use for it. So definitely go into Thrillseekers and check out some exclusive 60% off merchandise to get before the season ends. There's Barnstormer back with its red train, which is always great to see. It is reopened, which is, I'm so happy to start back. Alright, with Flash Vertical Velocity finally being on the Flash Pass site available to be used, we're gonna get on Flash. Flash is so good, and it continues to get better every time. We got back row. Back right is probably the magic feat. The pull out into when you go backwards to that non-inverting Immelman / non-inverting loop towards the end is wildly insane. You get a lot of G's out of that, more than you might initially think, especially being towards the quote-unquote front. So you get a lot of it out of that. It's such a great ride. I mean, the backwards and forwards, the stalled Immelman being the best hang time and stall in the park, period, and probably out there in the world right now. Like, it's unreal. What an unreal ride that is. I will say, as much as very crowded days just annoy me sometimes, personally, I do have to say that, like, it's really nice having some quality level crowds here at the park for once. It's been a long time since the park has really been like this, and usually Fright Fest already automatically does that, but it's just really satisfying seeing a lot of people come through the park again. And hopefully this is just a small sliver of what's to come soon. And again, the improvements they've done this season have really been very big improvements and a lot of quality of life change upgrades that have been for the better. So we're gonna get on Batman now. I haven't done this one in a while, so we're gonna get in onto that one. Should be a really good one. Hopefully it's well, I'll see when I get off. Alright, well, I'm right on Batman, and it is really an intense ride. It is a good ride. It's a very good ride. The intensity on it is it's one of the best intense coasters in the park, just off of the intensity. It does have a bit of a shake, but I think that just adds to the intensity more. So it's running good. Still got some small potholes in there, but it's still running good. Now we're getting a ride on Jersey Devil. All right, I got 2 rides on Devil. I was very lucky. The ride went down for like maybe 5-10 minutes, but they didn't send anybody up to the station, so timing just worked out where I was in row 12, and when it went back around, there was only 11 people in the station, and then they needed a single rider, and there I was. So I was able to stay on an extra ride, which was really, really cool. You don't get those opportunities very often, so you got to take it when you come across it. But great ride. Devil is always running really good. It's running really fast. It's just a thrill to be on. A friendly reminder that the RIP Caribbean Grill is amazing and has great food. I'm over here at the Blade Drummers, and they have this sign here so you can scan the QR code, and it says scan the QR code to suit your cell phone flash to the sounds of our one-of-a-kind demonic placements. I haven't really seen the show fully this year to know what it does, but it sounds sick, and you should definitely give it a shot. They also got the new signs and displays back here that give the logo, and it looks awesome. And right here next to the Sky Screamer, they brought back the Fright Fest Fanatics. It's a really cool shop on the inside. That was once over, I don't know where it was last year, but they have located it here, right next to the Haunted Attraction Pass area, and you could get some merch in there, specifically from Fright Fest. Another thing too, Flash has a directional sign right here if you are facing the fountain. So, good to know. Alright, we're gonna make our way out of the park. That's gonna do it for today's visit to Six Flags. great adventure. Fright Fest is over in 1 week's time. It's not a lot of time left to experience Fright Fest, so make sure you get out here. November 1st, November 2nd are the final days to experience Fright Fest for the year. But don't fret, because the park doesn't close for the season until the end of November, so there will still be some time afterwards. Great day. Man, the security line is getting busy, so getting out now. Wanted to go in to the park, check on all things happening that are brand new, and that's really it. And got a couple rides in on top of it, so we did very, very well today. So happy to be back at my home park and check in on things once again. It's been a long time since I've been back here, and I'm happy to be back. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Always, thank you, Ride Operators. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you all in the parks really, really soon. Goodbye.
Now get ready. Here we go.